Hey you guys, um, it's Gummy Worm Jim, live in the flesh. Oh my god! Wouldn't it be funny if that turned into my intro? I haven't, I haven't done one of these in a long time. I've actually almost completely forgotten how to vlog even. I remember that you need coffee though, and that having a cat in the frame is good for optics. That's Finnegan. Um, so let's do a C19 diary, shall we? Because we haven't done that in quite a while. If you guys have been watching the channel, let me get this framed up just right. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you probably know that this channel is mostly just VODs and video game footage and stuff. The primary reason that I have all this stuff here is because it's just stuff that I thought would be nice to maybe either one day edit into actual like viewable content. If you're still watching the channel, by the way, you are one of the real ones, because I know that as far as video game stuff goes, it's all VODs. It's all just like direct ripped from my live streams. And if that kind of stuff is entertaining to you, then stay tuned, because I got that all day. That's about as much as I can do without a good PC and a good editor. But that's not what the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about COVID and how COVID has affected my life specifically, actually, because we're vlogging about it. So if you're just tuning in, if you're just now watching this video, there's a whole playlist on my channel called C19 Diaries, which we started way back when we very first heard about the virus. Like the day that we heard about the virus, we masked up because we had to go shopping that day. And it was like the first day that we were actually worried about it. And compared to others, like, I don't want to be like a hipster and be like, we were so ahead of the trend, but like compared to other people, like, this is back in last April that we were like having mental breakdowns about this and talking about how this was going to like really change things for all of us. And so we've just kind of adjusted to that. And where we're at is not, it's not the best place we've ever been, obviously, but at the same time, like, I'm at a spot in my life where I have an amazing partner. We have wonderful cats around the house for companionship, even though they drive me absolutely up the wall most of the time. I mean, I recognize that we're very lucky to be where we are. By the way, several months behind on rent. We're not doing the take advantage of us while the world is imploding thing anymore. So, I imagine that at some point I will probably owe a lot of back rent. I owe a lot of back rent now, and that'll probably end up getting paid either by me or by emergency services that really do need to swoop in and start paying some of these back rent bills if they want to avoid a homelessness crisis in this country. But they're not gonna. So the purpose of this video is because here we are, like almost exactly a full year later. It's just after my 34th birthday. In the last month, so we quarantined immediately, and one of the reasons that I don't just say that I'm behind on rent because I'm like trying to flex or something. Like, we didn't just stop paying bills for no reason. I stopped going to work like pretty early on in the pandemic, and I tried to get a job at a little trim warehouse because I thought it was going to be COVID safe. But there were some people in that workplace that were already telling me just horrible shit, like, oh, we're all going to catch it anyway, and who gives a shit? Like, no, nope. As soon as I heard my coworkers talking like that, I quit. And I didn't even quit. I just went on call. So that place is still technically employing me. I'm not getting paychecks from them, but hopefully when shit gets a little bit more back to normal, I can go back to it, because it was fun trimming weed for a living, man. Who wouldn't love that as a, you know, as a person like me? But in the last month we had two. I should preface that by saying we have really adhered to quarantine. Like, at this point, we really have. There's a couple videos of me going out on supply runs, and the reason that those videos started dwindling out is because I stopped doing supply runs. Like, after a while, we're very lucky that not me, but someone in this house has a little bit of an income, so that we've been able to utilize the services of delivery workers, of people like Instacart and Uber Eats and those kind of things, or not Uber Eats, DoorDash, and let me tell you, those workers are now the essential workers. They are, you know what I mean? Service workers and delivery workers and the people that are keeping our society running, those people need to be paid properly at this point. Nothing anywhere near minimum wage is anything near acceptable for people in those positions. Those are the positions that are actually keeping people alive right now. Like, there's a lot of people that would not really be doing okay right now if it wasn't for deliveries, food services. You know what I mean? This kind of stuff. Look at my hair, dude. My hair's gotten so long. I tell you all of this because in the last 2 months, or in the last month or so, we've had 2 exposure incidents. One of which is that my neighbor right over here got it in her mind that we had stolen her cat, which I don't know why. Their cat had been being, like, let's just, not to just throw my neighbor under the bus, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Their cat had been being mistreated like crazy. It's been outside every single night in the winter, like all kinds of shit. So one time when we were outside taking the trash out, which is like one of the few times that we go outside the fucking house, we mentioned that we could rehouse the cat if they wanted. And the next day their cat went missing and they immediately blamed us, which I get it, it's kind of sus, but the whole point was that I got really upset because I don't like being called a thief. I especially don't like being called an animal thief because that's got a whole cultural thing with me being Native American and shit. Anyway, long story short, I fucking lost it as soon as someone called me a thief. And instead of losing my temper and being an angry person, because I've programmed myself to this point where, like, you cannot be an angry person ever again. You can't lash out at people. Because I used to do that shit in my younger years. It cost me a lot. And let me tell you right now, anger is not the way. So instead of getting angry, I just got upset and told my neighbor and her child, like, do you want to come into my fucking house and just look for the cat then? And she hella called my bluff. She's like, yeah, send him in. And she sent her little kid into my house during a fucking pandemic. Her little snotty-nosed kid was running up and down my fucking hallway trying to pet my cats and shit. Oh, your cats are so cute. Like, no, get the fuck out. So that was our first exposure incident. And that's just... I mean, the next one is just that people that care about us are trying to bring us stuff, and I'm realizing now that no matter how depressed I am or how, like, in my own zone I am, I can't just, because I have a family member who's been really, really cool. They've been really, I love this person with all my heart. They've been going out of their way to take care of themselves, quarantine, do the thing. They got the vaccine. They got the first dose of the vaccine because they're an elder, and they immediately, like the day after they were feeling better from the vaccine, wanted to bring me food, and I just was so, like, in my own head about it that I was like, oh god, food sounds so good right now, I need food. And I just let them bring me food. I shouldn't have done it. I should have been like, no, we're quarantining, like, because we're legit now that I've thought about it, and we just had a big aha moment that, like, for me, I've been in my own little depression nest for months now, and it's gotten to the point where I'm actually so... I don't know if you guys are experiencing this, if you guys are doing quarantine, let me know in the comments. I'm actually so, like, stir crazy that it's not that I don't care about my own life or anything, it's just that, like, basic survival stuff that you remember from the beginning of the pandemic about the virus, it starts to slip. Like, you start thinking less about this kind of stuff. Because there's this weird human element of, like, but I just want life to go back to normal. I just want to be able to let people in my house again. I just want to be able to see my family again. We can't do it. Like, we can't afford to start doing that shit now. So that's basically where I'm at with that. And just try not to lose it, man. So I wanted to make this video just so that there's at least another update to the C19 Diaries. Here we are a year later, and shit ain't changed. So thanks if you're tuning in, if you're watching this. Joe Biden won the election. I guess that's a kind of a big update from the last one, although he's doing a lot of the same problematic shit. He's trying to, like, do it in a different way so that it's a little bit nicer, which is, I guess, cool, but it's going to end up being too little too late, because I don't think that people are realizing how badly our infrastructures are collapsing. Like, our political infrastructures have eaten each other alive in the last couple days, in the last couple, like, months, you know what I mean? Like, really in the last, like, couple decades, but it's boiled to a head now, to the point that we really are, like, seeing threats of civil unrest and civil war and all kinds of shit, and I'm just like, The fucking world is imploding, you guys, and that's part of why I've just decided that we really have to start prioritizing self-care, taking care of ourselves. I know there are people who would think like, well, but you just said you're behind on rent, so obviously you're not taking very good care of yourself. But the fact is, if you really think about it, paying rent is not taking care of you anyway. You're working your ass off so that you can hand your money to someone who has a piece of paper that says they own your home. Or maybe not even that. Maybe they're paying a mortgage. You might be working your ass off just to buy some other random person a piece of paper that says that they own your home. Something's got to give, you guys. Something serious has to give. Because it's all fucking imploding. You know what I mean? Anyway, this felt good. Maybe I'll do some more C19 Diaries stuff. Let me know in the comments if you guys are interested, if you guys would like to talk about anything COVID and or 2020, 2021 era life related. Feel free to drop it in the comments below. Yeah. Wow, I made a YouTube video, you guys. I'm kind of proud of myself.